Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you all so much for being here. Is that an echo? Do I sound like that? Oh my God, is that my voice? Oh, wait, wait. Okay. Sorted. It is sorted. Thank you all so much. Let me see who's here. Uh, Martha. Nope, not Mar. Oh, there we go. Lydia Washington, you're here first. Thank you so much for being here. And let me see. Let me get rid of that and get rid of that. And all right, good to go. Oh, there we go. Martha 2021. Thank you so much for the super sticker. What a great start for today. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Okay. All right. Kim Peaches, Manello, Nancy Herlock, thank you. Let's see, who else is here? Annie Bullard, Dorothy Ross with the hugs. All right, Joyce Anderson, thank you. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. And who else is here? Manello, Joy Amore, thank you. Kim Peaches. All right. Mo Shannon, I got my big giant cup of coffee sitting here, so I think I'm ready to go before I lose this buzz. All right, there we go. There is that right there. Hey, you guys, Time Magazine. An angel whispered in my ear today. Hey, guess what? Huh? Time Magazine is having its annual most influential list. So there you go. And hopefully I can get that link for you guys. But yeah, so that is how you can vote for the most influential. Um, oh, really? Uh huh. Is that it? Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. I had made an application for something and I thought that was it. I was about to get excited. All right. Well, that wasn't it. Hello, Big Mama. Hello, Maria Murdoch. Let me see. Nelson Zago. Cynthia Thorpe. Okay. All right. So let us continue here. So remember, who should be the 2023 Time 100? Vote now. Cast your vote for the individuals who have had the greatest influence on the past year, for better or worse. Well, for worse, but yeah, I you only get one vote, right? I mean, do you get a better, worse vote? Check back in April to find out who won the readers' polls. Will reveal the final list chosen by Time's editor on April 12th. All right, you guys. So you have your marching orders. You got to go and vote for our faves. So there you go. You got to vote for our faves. Now, Time Magazine has been around for, oh my goodness, how long has Time been around? Anyway, it is a very old and traditional weekly magazine here in the United States. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you guys a little something about Ebony and Jet magazine. They were founded by John H. Johnson of the Johnson Publishing Company. Well, Ebony magazine was this huge picture filled magazine to reflect contemporary life of African Americans, right? So the inspiration, of course, was the Life magazine. And then, of course, there was the weekly magazine, which was called Negro Digest. Well, they decided after the civil rights movement that will not do. So they started calling it Jet Magazine. That was kind of like a Time magazine, but more in a very small pocket form, like the Reader's Digest. So two of my faves. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Lydia. I will post that right now. You can vote multiple times, Lydia says. So there it is at the top of the chat, the link so you guys can vote for Time Magazine most influential. And of course, we already know who it is. It is Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan, who both have New York Times bestseller list books. Who are the most Googled individuals out there, as well as the most popular royals. I mean, royals anywhere, the most popular. So no matter what anybody tells you, they're trying to sell you a bill of goods if they're trying to convince you that the Sussexes are not the most popular royals, because they are, individually or as a couple, the most popular. Oh, what's that? Yes, they had our faves, but also President Biden. Okay, thank you so much for that. All right, and then there's this. I'll let you look at that for a second before we get into it. Take a look at a couple of your comments before I go to that. We're just doing our hellos. All right, hello, Novi D. Janice Goodrich. All right. Here we go again, says the Duchess. This is a tweet from someone on Twitter that is like one of my favorite people. Here we go again. The royal gossipers and their co-conspirators, the British media, now whining about why Prince Harry and Meghan were not paying rent on Frogmore Cottage. King Charles the Cruel apparently struck a deal with Harry and Meghan, so the $2.4 million used to make the cottage livable was paid off in rent. Harry and Meghan's renovated the extremely rundown cottage, which also needed heavy restoration. It was just a fancy new kitchen, like the British media led us to believe. Frogmore Cottage is a grade 2 listed property, so it would have been doubly expensive to protect and preserve. These people will come up with anything so they don't have to pay back what they owe Harry and Meghan. So thank you so much, Duchess, if you're watching. And I'll just say this. A grade 2 listed building, right? They have the grade 1, they have the grade 2. I would say Windsor Castle is grade 1. Very essential to the history of Britain. But this place right here, a collection of extensions that, of course, originally was servants' quarters. That's it and that's all. The area where the house is located is near the Frogmore Mausoleum, where Queen Victoria and Prince Albert laid to rest. Also, there's other properties nearby. This area is prone to dampness because anytime you have a body of water nearby, the land is saturated. And so this house, even the Frogmore Mausoleum, was shut down for years while they tried to protect it from the damp. It's just a thing in that area. So the house, well, I'm sure the house has settled and that there was a lot of things that was taken on water. So one of the things that they did to that place, they added a floating floor. Now, in a restoration house, if you don't want the old rustic cobblestone floor or whatever type of flooring they have, they require you to create a floating floor, something that is temporary and not permanent to the building. So in other words, you can't rip out the old floor. So this place, like even the chimneys, you know how delicate chimneys can be. that's not something that the Sussexes would have been required to pay for. However, because of all of the complaining and the conspiring from the tabloid media, they led people to believe that this was just a vanity project, when the truth is it was a restoration project. The only thing that was a vanity project about this house is that there were certain fittings and fixtures that the Sussexes required, since they were sorry about that, since they were going to live there, supposedly for the rest of their lives. That was supposed to be their forever home. And so certain fittings and fixtures, like anybody else, I mean, how many times have you seen people take a perfectly good kitchen and tear it out and put another one in? Well, in this case, the kitchen probably dated back to William the Conqueror. I'm exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. The house was in dire need of repair. The people that maintain the royal properties, whoever the land managers are, the estate managers, they begged for the opportunity to repair the house. And it just coincided with the fact that the Sussexes were going to move in. So that's it. Well, I'll put it. Let me say this. We all remember the countless hatchet jobs against the Sussexes during that campaign of hate before they drove them out of the country. Let me see if this is it right here. Nope, that's not it. You know what? I just had something about Frogmore, if you remember, that I shared it the other day. And I think this is an appropriate time to look at it again. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. Okay, let me try one more. That's 1918, and let me try 17. Oh my goodness, I just shared this with you guys. Okay, I think it was a 17. Let me put you back over here, and I am going to look for it myself. Let me see. Nope, 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 nope. Is this it? No. Or is this it? No, that's not it. You guys, I have a ton of receipts, and I spent so much time organizing them, and it just fails me right now. But it had to do with Frogmore, and I just shared it with you guys, and I would like to share it with you again if I could find it. But this is my last look. If I can't find it now, then I won't bother. But it was about the Frogmore lie. All right, never mind. Sorry about that, you guys. But yes, so anyway, but okay. The Sussex Squad Detective Agency. Have you guys ever heard of it? It's called the Sussex Squad Detective Agency. It is a team of very brave men and women who have scoured the internet, who have grabbed the odd newspaper here or there, and they have brought these items to their homes, and they're up all night with a number two pencil wedged in their teeth, and of course the sharpies and the the red threads and everything. They have created a mission statement. It's all about making sure that the enemy, or the tabloid media, whatever you want to call it, that they know that we keep receipts. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here when I say receipts. We keep receipts. Aha, there it is, the Sussex Squad Detective Agency. Um, oh, who's got 3 months? Who's got 3 months? Let me see that. Who's got 3 months? Uh, oh man, I missed it, didn't I? Well, anyway, whoever has 3 months, congratulations, and thank you so much for supporting Royal Sussex. Oh man, that got past me. Oh, I see it now. Mama Bub, 3 months membership. Well, hi to you too, and thank you so much. And yes, it is a great Monday. Thank you very much, Mama Bub. All right, so the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, Sussex Squad Detective Agency, we keep receipts. So don't forget that we keep receipts. I don't know if I should say that now, seeing that I just had trouble finding the one I was looking for. But when I don't have trouble, we keep receipts. Wow, Karen, you have 11 months. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex for 11 months. Okay. I bet you it was yesterday. I know I just had that yesterday. Oh, well, how could I be so careless? All right. So, Chris, global royal expert. Now, Chris is definitely a royal expert. And Harry covered that in the docuseries. To be a royal expert, it doesn't take a lot. All you have to do is to find the source who knows the guy that once drove past during a hailstorm. That makes you a royal expert. Or if you're a squatty, that also qualifies you to be a royal expert. And I think I would trust the squatty more than anybody else because the squad, well, we keep receipts. So remember when the media admitted moving to Frogmore would be a cheaper option for taxpayers than renovating apartment one? Because apartment one had cost taxpayers over 4.5 million pounds, but they stopped talking about that because it didn't fit the Harry and Meghan is a burden to the taxpayer narrative. You remember me too. Well, right there, Chris has found inside Frogmore Cottage as Prince Harry and Meghan move. The multi-million pound renovation work on Frogmore Cottage is also said to be less expensive for the taxpayer than renovating apartment one at Kensington Palace. They said that. They said that. And this is why we keep receipts because they always love to change the narrative, to misrepresent the events so that they can get away with lying to the public in order to build apathy and hostility against the Sussexes. They do this all the time, which is why it is so important to screenshot these things, to save the links if possible, so that we could prove that they have changed the story. Just like yesterday, when they really knew that they had messed up, what did they do? They just yanked that story right off the internet. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. The Mirror and, of course, the Sun, both of which, the Sussexes have had problems with. They yanked those stories as fast as they could because it would prove embarrassing to them. But the Sussex Squad Detective Agency is not done yet because there's more. Okay. Man, I wish I could find that article from yesterday. I'm still looking. Uh, is this it? No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Okay. All right. KC says, Baron, that 2.4 million was only for the exterior of the property. Harry and Meghan spent another 1.3 to fix up the interior as well as the grounds of the property, which wasn't part of the remodeling. I believe that. I believe that. And of course, we were constantly bombarded. One of the articles I recall, and I did not save that one, but I do remember Dan Wooten was probably one of the worst when it came to building this case against the Sussexes about the Frogmore Cottage, saying that, of course, it's our money and sorry about that. We have a right to know how they spend our money, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, Dan Wooten was one of the worst. Let me see if that's it. Nope, that's not it. You guys, I am so determined to find that because I saved one myself. And now I have misplaced it. I know it just seemed like I shared it maybe yesterday, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Huh. Oh, well. Okay, I give because I'm not finding it. Man. All right. So let's go to the next one. Wait. Ruth Lopez says, I think the whole problem with Frogmore is that Meghan made a dump into the nicest royal residence, many of which are run down, and now Meghan made something nice. They covet it. They don't need it. I believe I heard before that the idea that they would stay in Kensington Palace until the Queen made her transition, and then they would take over the Clarence House. But that doesn't make sense, though, because from the other thing that I heard is that Charles had no intentions on moving into Buckingham Palace ever, and that it was going to be a public venue as well as for ceremonial purposes. Oh, yes, Karen says they also had to remove asbestos. The media said they had a special yoga studio and a carpet bathtub. I remember that one, and a private site for Doria. Oh, yeah, Doria was supposed to open up a Airbnb. Doria was going to start yoga classes, and she was also going to run her social service agency, amongst other things, out of Frogmore. So, just to save the commute back to Los Angeles. All of those things are supposed to have been true at the same time. Uh, let's see, LM, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for, I'm sorry, not super sticker, for the Cash App. Thank you so much for that, LM. And happy Monday to you. Greatly appreciate it. That asbestos thing is pretty scary. And oh, man. And I remember at the time I was thinking about a new baby being brought into that situation. And the fact that I just don't trust anybody who works for that family. Sorry. Okay, so Chris of the Sussex Squad Detective Agency has added something else here. Remember when the media said Frogmore could cost £5 million, but they stopped that when they realized that Harry and Meghan would be paying half, and they focused on the £2.4 million burden to taxpayer, and the palace didn't publicly clarify that structural work wasn't done because of Harry and Meghan. You remember? Me too. So here it says, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry prefer Cotswold home to, of course, any place else. As royal baby due date approaches, Meghan is overseeing the renovation of their home at Frogmore, which could cost up to $5 million, roughly $6.4 million. And then lastly, and thank you again for this, Chris, remember when the media complained about the $4.5 billion taxpayer burden? KP, oh gosh, KP for, I'm sorry, I think that's a typo. For William and Kate, the palace, oh, wait, KP Apartment 1, that's it, KP Apartment 1. The palace quickly explained why they needed the taxpayer burden, but when the media came for Harry and Meghan, the 2.4 million renovation, that's what it is, renovation, taxpayer burden, the palace was, you remember, me too. Okay, little typo, but here we go. So they spent a lot of money for Will and Kate for apartment 1 at the Kensington Palace. Apartment 1 at Kensington Palace was Princess Margaret's old apartment, the largest, the largest at Kensington Palace. And they also spent taxpayers' money. If I believe it was like $2 million or however many pounds to replace the driveway at Anmar Hall. And I swear, I have a thing for that too, for Anmar Hall. Didn't think I would need it today, but um, where the tabloids at the time pointed out, that was before the hate campaign against Harry and Meghan. The tabloids at the time pointed out that the Cambridges were getting this big, expensive renovation, and of course, the taxpayers would pay for it. Well, by the time Meghan came along, all complaints about the Cambridges came to a full stop. And then the focus was thrown upon Harry and Meghan. And of course, as we know, mostly Meghan. Joseph says they must have taken us squatties for absent-minded fools with Alzheimer's. We got receipts and may forgive, but never forget. Amen. We got receipts. I have a ton of them, and I promise you, the one I had the other day, I don't know what I did with it, and I know it should be in this week's slide. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Joseph. Oh, that's not for me. Hello, Goonies Never Say Die. And Maureen Reed says, Baron, they think we forget. Those taxpayers and tabloids, trash media were complaining about them paying to renovate any building Harry and Meghan moving to. Exactly. And again, I remember one of the big mouths. Matter of fact, I can tell you exactly what Dan Wooten said. I just can't move it over to the screen right now, but I can tell you exactly what he said because I think I have that one. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Oh, those are some of the newer ones. I know I got one for there's a very transparent attempt by the Sussex Squad. Nope, that's not it. Oh, man. I had one for Frogmore with his name on it, and I'm not seeing it. Man, I'm going to have to spend some time organizing these again, which is perpetual for me. But yeah, well, anyway, you guys know he was one of the main perpetrators when it came to the Sussexes and Frogmore. Uh-huh. Oh, man. And I see like half of these are all about Spotify. Huh? Nope. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. And I don't see that one. Okay. Man, this is not good today. I am not able to find my stuff. Oh, that sounds weird. Okay, so over here, one of the biggest expenses was renovating the main kitchen, according to sources. I'm told the bill was a staggering £170,000, and although taxpayers paid for structural work, Charles paid for the rest. Taxpayers have footed the £4 million structural repair bill for the four-story apartment, which used to be the home of Princess Margaret and was later used for offices. It was last refurbished back in 1963 and needed to be virtually gutted before it could be made habitable. Removing asbestos from the Sir Thomas Wren design building cost £500,000, while renewal of the roof cost a further £400,000. The bill for rewiring, plumbing, and other structural work was £1 million, and the remaining £2 million went on replacing floorboards and repairing halls in the 22-room apartment, which will accommodate William, Kate, and their baby son George. So that is the one for the Cambridges. They spent all that money on Will and Kate, their forever apartment, and of course, they spent several $1 million for Will and Kate for their forever home, Ardmore Hall, I'm sorry. And of course, now there somebody is over at the oh gosh, what is that other place? Adelaide Cottage. And then, of course, at some point, they are going to move again. As it stands, the Cambridges have 4 residents. They have a place up in Scotland as well. And they wanted to move into Buckingham Palace. That was at the point when Charles said no. And I promise you, if they would have moved into, I'm sorry, not Buckingham Palace, the the Windsor Castle. If they would have moved to Windsor Castle, they would have spent more taxpayer money, or the sovereign grant, which is what? Taxpayer money. They would have spent more money to fix that up to their taste until one of them decide that they don't want to be with the other any longer, God forbid. But that is a possibility. So yeah, that's one of the receipts. And again, thank you, Chris, for putting those together. Hello, Elaine Parker. Thank you so much for the super sticker and being a member of Royal Sussex. So again, you guys, receipts, receipts, receipts. We got plenty of them. Even when we can't find them even when we can't find them when we need them, we got a heap of receipts, I promise. No, we really do. But yeah, so there you go. That is from the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, where we always produce receipts. All right, I'll take a couple of your comments before I go on. KC says Harry and Meghan did, plus they still paying rent. They are the only ones that do not have a long-term lease. They only allow them to have 1 to 2 year lease at a time. Now, see, I thought it was a 12-year lease, which would take them up to the point when the Cambridge kids are able to go out and start doing some of those royal duties themselves. I thought it was 12 years, which is still short by royal family standards, and particularly a senior royal. That is a very short period of time. There are some people in the grace and favor places that I'm talking about not the family members, but staff who have stayed in grace and favor longer than that lease. So not good. Okay. Ruth Lopez said, oh, that's for someone else. Okay. Hello, Lauren. You guys, Lauren's link is at the top of the chat. Let me see. Baron, the likes of Dan Wooten don't ask for a breakdown of Will and Kate's 4 houses that we, the taxpayers, foot the bill for. Only the Sussexes. Why? Because when it involves a person of color, and in particular, as I always say, in particular, when it has to do with Black person, all of a sudden, everything changes. It just changes. The whole complexion, no pun intended, changes. It always does. Let's see. Did Charles and Diana have KP1? Whatever apartment. I believe that Diana stayed in the apartment that Charles and Diana shared, because when they married, Margaret was still alive, and Margaret died around what, 2000 maybe. So I think Margaret's place was, let me think about that. No, I don't think they ever had a Margaret's place, but Diana's apartment was pretty large, and of course, they use it for storage and offices now. Nobody lives there. But Diana's place was pretty large, but I believe Margaret's was the largest of them. And the Kent's apartment, was it the Kents or the Gloucesters? I think it's the Gloucesters that were next door, right? The Gloucesters' house was pretty big. So the Kents used to have a place in the country, but they sold it because of public pressure when they found out that they would have to start paying rent. They decided they couldn't afford their country pile any longer. Okay. And Fu says, by the way, thank you for your comment. Egghead and his sidekick, envious copycat Wadey, gave a pregnant Meghan such an awful time that I sometimes wonder if Wadey was an alien, not a mother, drove them to the asbestos, I'm sorry, filled box. Yeah, when I found out, I'm sorry, that place had asbestos, I was like, that's not good. I mean, when they remove the asbestos, they have to suit up and everything. And, an old house, it settles, there's cracks and openings and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure I want to believe that they did the right thing. I really want to believe that. So, but yeah, I was worried about that info. I didn't like the sound of it. Casey says, hello, everyone. I missed you guys. I had to step back to protect my mental health. I deleted all of my social media apps. I'm a very sensitive person, and it started affecting me personally. Casey, you were very, very strong to do that. That is where the strength comes in. The strength is not enduring to the point of madness. The strength is when you step back to avoid the bad feelings. So, if it affects your mental health, that is the wise thing to do. And thank you so much for sharing that, because there is a lot of things over the airways that can affect us. And it is your call when that happens. And if and whenever you decide to come back, well, as you can see, we're still here. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Let's change the subject, shall we? Take a look at that. Archie Harrison, Mountbatten-Windsor, 6 May 2019. This is a birthday card. One of the squaddies posted that. It is a little watercolor birthday card, and I just love it. It's so adorable. It's got his little look at that cute little chubby foot, and then the other little itty bitty tiny little chubby foot. So cute. I love it. It is absolutely adorable. Manello, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. And oh wow, who's sending me a text message? That's weird. Oh, okay. Okay. What does it mean when somebody texts you and say, meet me with your black drawers on? I don't know what that means. Meet me with your black drawers on. Wasn't that a song? I'm just kidding. Nobody sent a message like that. If they did, I wouldn't be here now. I'd be like, bye, y'all. All right. Thank you so much, Manello. Mary H says, thank God the Sussexes have their beautiful home away from these lunatics. Beautiful landscape with orange trees, lemon trees, 100-year-old olive trees, trees to not hear this stupidity. Thank you so much, Mary H. I wonder what it's like to walk out the door and just grab a lemon off the tree. As much as I love lemons, that seems like as close as you can get to heaven and still be here on earth, to just go out there and grab a lemon off the tree. How cool is that? I love it. Thank you so much for your comment. Okay. Pauline Bergio. Thank you for the truth regarding BP. Is that black people? Or is that Buckingham Palace? I was thinking of relocating to the UK since I was born there. The royals have made my choice evident. Not my king, not my Prince Willie. Thank you so much for that, Pauline, and happy Monday to you. Yeah, it is a little crappy home. And the shortest lease, it was just, oh man. I remember I used to say very early on when I were doing the recorded videos that if it wasn't for the fact that the Sussexes got the heck out of there, I was thinking that the worst possible thing would be having to live under the oppression of a jealous, hateful, spiteful person like William. Not even thinking at that time how terrible Charles could be, how shady and shameful Charles could be. I mean, I knew he was kind of a flip flopper and very indecisive, but that he would take their security away and such, I just didn't see that coming. I didn't think that he would allow, especially with the vast resources that he has, the fact that he would never spend all that money in a lifetime. I mean, the money is just going to get passed on to William, who's going to pass it on and on and on. They grow the money and they spend very little of it, unless you have been accused of something terrible and the FBI would like to question you. And the only evidence that we can really find is you with a picture around someone's waist. If that happens, then they have the money. But anything else, they don't have it. Thank you, Kim. Official Lauren Brown, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Which, by the way, I watched your video the other day. What a very cool topic. You guys, Lauren made a video about having a spa-like atmosphere in the bedroom. And if you cohabitate or even if you don't, it just made a lot of sense. And I'm just like, you know what? You know what? Let me think about that. But that is a very cool concept. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Ruth Lopez says, there's historical precedence for taking Frogmore. One of Henry VIII's courtiers built an estate house that was nicer than any of the king's, so the king took it. It's still crown property. Now, is that the Palace of St. James, is it? Or I can't remember which one, but I remember one of the courtiers built it, and he was trying to, it was like the first Renaissance style house in all of Britain. And it looked so continental compared to the other homes. And when Henry VIII saw it, he was like, you know what? I'm about to covet this. Plus, the hunting grounds were ideal. So I think it was St. James, the Palace of St. James. But I may be wrong. But I do remember that happened. And that, of course, is the official. Well, anyway, the United States ambassador uh, presents his credentials to the Palace of St. James or the Court of St. James, something like that. So it's a tradition. It goes all the way back with that particular residence. So thank you so much for that factoid. But yeah, that is a precedence. If it's really nice, they'll just take it. Did you ever hear the one about how some of the, like if was it Elizabeth I, she would go and visit, or Henry VIII, it doesn't matter. When the king or the queen would go to visit,
these estates. A lot of the lords and ladies that they would visit would actually go broke. They would go bankrupt because of the price of housing the king and the king's guards and the courtiers. And you want to create a state bedroom for the monarch to stay. And it's the bedroom that nobody sleeps in, and you just set it aside with the idea that the monarch would come to visit. Kim Brown, thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex for 11 months. Thank you so much for that. So, yeah, I saw one of those Lucy Worsley documentaries about the state bedroom. And what was interesting is that so much of that furniture was portable, and you go through all of this trouble to make the bedroom for the monarch, and they want all that stuff out of there because they brought their bed, they brought their furniture with them. They crate up everything and just take it to the next place. Very interesting. A lot of that old court furniture was actually portable. You would have to come up with hundreds of pounds of ham and hundreds of gallons of beer and stuff like that just to support an army of people that have come to visit. Crazy. But they used to do that all the time. Ruth Lopez said, Baron, did you see where Kate said George complained that the houses of his friends are bigger than his? So Kate says they need a bigger home because they are so special. They must have the biggest. I did not hear that one, but I heard though about the time when George told one of his classmates that my father's soldiers are going to come and wipe you all out or something like that. You better be cool because my father's soldiers are coming to get you. So, yeah, I remember that one. Okay, let's move on, you guys. And of course, let us not forget May the 6th, Prince Archie's birthday. That's the only, Camilla, that's the only way people will watch my coronation. I'm sure that dawned upon him when he heard it. Camilla, oh my God, Camilla, that's the only way people will watch my coronation. I hope they don't throw eggs. Speaking of throwing eggs, today I met with our expert team at Dover and Manston, who worked tirelessly to save lives and protect the UK's borders. I saw firsthand how we're working to reduce the numbers of people in Manston, support people there, and thank staff for all their efforts. Well, that was a long time ago. Let's fast forward to today, shall we? Aha! This is today. As a matter of fact, even yesterday wasn't so nice, but this is today. This is not a doctored photo of Suella Braverman. It fully captures her joy with the facility she plans to deport trafficked victims of modern slavery, refugees, and asylum seekers to Rwanda. This image will epitomize her forever. The picture of a failed human being. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Shola, and for never holding back. I agree. I agree. This is a shell of a person, someone who otherwise would receive some of the worst, and I do mean some of the worst racism herself, if not for the fact that, she has a high income and has a good education. Otherwise, I'm afraid she would probably understand what it's like to be desperate, uh, to be treated like everyone else. But she has become the face of the Brexiteers. She has become the face of the right wing um, othering of people. And she seems to take glee with it. She seems to take such glee with the idea that people are afraid and suffering. Because of her rhetoric, there are so many people that are afraid to leave the house for fear that someone is going to other them. In other words, going to hurl racial epithets at them or attack them. It's that rhetoric that does that. It's not what she does directly, but she reinforces racism. She reinforces the nationalistic ideas of the past, which is, so present today. But uh, I believe that one sports announcer was very justified when he compared some of those policies to the Nazi Party. I think it was very justified. It sounds alike. I mean, it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. And if it does, is Suella Braverman. Sorrel, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Greatly appreciate it. And also, Legs has a super chat. I heard that too, Ruth Lopez. Sounds like a reason for having multiple houses or bigger ones so people don't call them hypocrites. Peggy needs more. Oh, I have a little something about Peggy coming up. And thank you so much, Legs, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Monday to you. So, this is the full photo, I believe. Dr. Shola says, why are some people in this country so politically illiterate, so laughing, head thrown back, with joy at facilities to deport trafficked humans to Rwanda is doctored because it doesn't show Suella Braverman was doing it with two people. This level of idiocy is why UK is a mess. This doesn't make it any better. As a matter of fact, this hurts to look at. If you guys recall, Suella Braverman, she had the I Have a Dream speech. And in that speech, she spoke about how she dreamt of seeing plane loads of those very same people that Dr. Shola mentioned, that she would see them carted away, so to speak. I mean, that's how the Nazis used to do it. They would cart them away. That she would see them taken out the country. I'm going to say it one more time. It is not against the law to seek asylum. It doesn't matter how you get there. It doesn't matter that you don't stop at the very first country that you enter. Let me see if I can find her. Here it is. I think this is it. Oh, sound would be good. Okay, so that is Suella's dream. That is Suella's dream. As a matter of fact, to be fair, that's a lot of people's dreams. There's a lot of people that dream the same dream that Suella has. But those dreams have consequences. It impacts people who don't look like the television version, the magazine version of what a British person looks like. In other words, those who do not have red and hair and blue eyes, or blonde hair and blue eyes in particular, anyone who looks like they're from someplace else, so to speak, those are the people that's impacted by that. And that type of rhetoric causes harm. One of the most painful things about Donald Trump, and I remember one of the people that was one of the early supporters of Royal Sussex told me, um, I voted for Trump, and if you talk about him like that, I'm not going to watch Royal Sussex anymore. To the likes of which, I retorted long after that, like I said, I hate him. So, well, I don't really hate him, but I don't like him. Um, the whole point of it is Donald Trump's rhetoric is the reason why, and I'm going to directly associate this with him. I was looking at the news one day and they said that there was an incident at a grade school where a school that was mostly Hispanic or Latino was playing a basketball game against a school that was mostly white or Caucasian, whatever. And the white kids began to chant, "Build that wall, build that wall," repeatedly. And of course, that sent the kids home in tears. Kids absorb that and they believe that they may not be able to stay in the country in which they were born. And even if they were not born there, if they're seeking their citizenship or if they are the first generation, whatever, they should not have to feel vulnerable in their own home or at their school as though someone's going to take them away or put them on a plane, Suella Braverman. This is just so devious. It is just the worst of humanity. And the power trip that she's on, it just doesn't even seem real, but that is how they do these things, is that they can play it in real time. And no people, the lack of reaction from people that are supposed to protect us, like the media, or in this case, the media actually feeds into it. But the lack of reaction from the what is it, the fourth, the fifth estate, is the reason why it happens. That's the reason why they get away with it. And the Rupert Murdochs of this world, who have come along to ensure that they sow the seeds of destruction, they ensure that there's enough confusion and enough apathy that these types of narratives flourish in a free society. They take advantage of the open and free society. They take advantage of freedom of speech. Baron, that facility is going to be gorgeous. The migrants will be treated with migrants will be treated with respect in that country. Rwanda is beautiful, and I'm sure you mean migrants, right? And technically advanced. That's not the point, though, Lady Bird. That's not the point. If you have family in the UK, why should you be removed from the United Kingdom if you have family there? And by the way, I feel the same way about the United States. There is a shortage of workers in both countries. There are shortage of employees all over the Western industrialized world. The reason why Macron wants to raise the retirement age is because there's not enough people to do the work. If there's able-bodied people at any of these borders, I say let them in. I'm not encouraging them to just flood the places with people that are not vetted. I mean, we need to make sure that they are, but at any rate, if they can get here, whether they're at the borders or not, wherever they enter the country, give them a helping hand, give them a hand up, not a handout. They don't want a handout, they want a hand up. And that's the humane thing to do. So that's just how I feel about it. I don't, that's a non-starter for me. You don't take someone seeking asylum and put them on a plane and remove them because it makes other people feel better. Most of the nations in the West signed that charter for asylum seekers. So treat them with the same respect as you would anyone getting off of a plane from Ukraine. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Karen says UK wants the Afghanistan people who were interpreters for English speaking to take birth certificate, marriage certificate, family documents to the Taliban, who will then forward to the UK. Is insanity. Well, Karen, you know that, I know that, and most people that are running for their lives do not stop and say, "Ooh, I need to go and apply for my birth certificate before the Taliban gets here. Ooh, let me hurry up before one of those drug lords get here. Let me put in for my birth certificate today, and I'll try to find my children's school transcripts. Then I will run for my life." It just doesn't work that way. Thank you for pointing that out, Karen. This is a humanitarian crisis, and I do feel strongly about it. And I have not changed my position in the least bit. Miranda Rios says, here in Texas, so many of my fellow Latinos are becoming Republicans. They are anti-immigration. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Everyone here in America is an immigrant except for the Native Americans. Thank you, Miranda Rios. Thank you. How well put. Absolutely. Very well put. As a matter of fact, as it has been said so often, we didn't cross the border crossed us. If you take a look at the old map of the United States before the so-called manifest destiny, you know, that's the stuff that they don't want to teach in school. The empire of the United States stole so much of the territory of the land that was once Mexico, and they just took it. They just took it. So, as they say, we didn't cross the border crossed us. And that is the truth, the unvarnished truth. Let me see, Baron. I understand and I agree with you. My only point is they will be they will go to a good place. Right now, we are dealing with racist scum. There is no dealing with these people clearly. Yeah, but if the people don't want to go, then they should not force them to go. They have a right as asylum seekers to stay and plead their case in the United Kingdom. This is unheard of that you would herd people onto planes and drop them off in another country, a country where they may or may not speak the language, where they probably don't know anybody. That is not fair. That is unheard of. Nobody has done that before that has signed on to that charter ensuring that asylum seekers have the right to plead their case. This is a first. This is a first. So it's not right. If the people don't want to go, if they want to brave the winters like everybody else, then leave them alone. If they volunteer to go, fine. Ask them, do you want to go? No? Okay. Then stay here and plead your case. It's just as simple. I mean, I get what you're saying, that perhaps they won't face the racism and they may not face the hostility, but that's not Suella Braverman's call. That belongs to the asylum seeker or the migrant or someone. They're not making, I bet you won't find those planes with Ukrainians on it. And we know how the Ukrainians did the black people. I bet you won't find those planes. I want you to point out a Ukrainian that's on that plane going to Rwanda. Please do that. And then I'll say, okay, well, maybe you got a point. But until that happens, no. No, no, no. Hello, Lucy Wynn. Lucy Wynn says, hi, Baron and Squatties. I won't be in the chat for a few days. My friend's sister is still in the ICU and not expected to recover. Lucy Wynn, we were praying for you the other day. Thank you for sharing that. And you know what? We'll be here for you, and we'll be sending our prayers as per usual. And thanks for checking in to let us know, where you are, and appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll be here for you. Okay. Okay. All right, let's move on then, shall we? Oh, Dorcas has, we all need to just stop hating and work together everywhere. Thank you so much, Dorcas. Thank you. I appreciate that. And um, the nationalistic anti-other campaigns in this world, they're just afraid that the countries are becoming too brown. We all know what that is. It's the browning of these countries that were um, empires that colonized. They're afraid that what did Malcolm X say? That's what they're afraid of. What did Malcolm X say? Right? That's what they're afraid of. I mean, the answer is so simple. Okay, one more, then I'll go to the next one. Baron, the Elliott showed numerous aerial photos of reconstruction of apartment one to be vacated by the Qs, because for Harry and Meghan to move into after construction, but they didn't move, and Meghan was pregnant. Oh, yeah, I've seen him show some of those aerial photos in the past. As a matter of fact, one of his most watched videos was when he showed the inside of Princess Diana's old apartment. So, hello, that's who she's talking about. Oh, and by the way, uh, Dorcas, if I forgot, there's your bell. But thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, hello. You know who she's talking about. Hello. And Cold War Steve, not to be left out. Check this out. Cold War Steve, as you know, has created some very interesting illustrations of the events that are happening in the UK. Well, here's one right here. And there is Suella Braverman, like some serpent from the deep, terrorizing people, trying to make their way to seek asylum. And all of a sudden, that head pops out of the water. I, I have to admit, Cold War Steve is so talented. Where does he get this from? I mean, look at how even the hair is dripping with water, like some menacing serpent of the deep just rose up through the English channels, at the channel that is. And in the background, you can see watchtowers, and of course, that is the White Cliffs of Dover. So yeah, very, very clever. All right. Baron, Suella was convicted of some money laundering, well, I think she was accused. I'm not sure if she was convicted. So, but it has been alleged that she had some dirty dealings in the past. But I don't know that she's. I don't think she was ever convicted of anything. So we have to be very careful with that. She should have been. I'm sorry. She should not have been reinstated. Yeah, she shouldn't be anywhere where people's life and death concerns are involved, because she seems to lack empathy for anyone. Let's see. Hope Garden says, Baron, Ukraine is still giving Africans and other minorities a hard time. Upsets me greatly as a Black American while we're heavily financing them. I agree, Hope's Garden. And, let me say this too. Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, it's amazing how many things that have happened and they don't seem to ever speak up about them. I mean, there is a huge lobby of African Americans in Congress, and you would think that some of them would have spoken out about this sooner, but I don't remember anybody going on the record to mention the way Africans were treated in Ukraine. So if you guys can find something like that, please let me know because I haven't been able to find it. Let me see. Official Lauren Brown says Rwanda is a country. I'm sorry, as a country is amazing and growing. Yes, but removing refugee asylum seekers who do not need to be deported to be detained can soon become intermittent. Intermittent, right? And not at not at Rwanda's hand, but at the UK's. It's just not good moving people like that. It was horrendous for the governor of Texas and the governor of Florida to take migrants. And you know what? I'm glad they sent them to safe cities. I am glad that they did that. I'm glad that they sent them to Chicago. I'm glad they sent them to New York. And as you can see, what did they find? A helping hand. They found a hand up when they got there. Nobody complained about anything but the fact that they were disrespected by these governors. But I'm glad. I'm glad, and I, I applaud the volunteers that greeted them at these drop-offs. And when they sent the people to Martha's Vineyard, the only thing that was bad about that was just that they didn't have the infrastructure in place. You know, Martha Vineyard is not a gateway city. I mean, it's a little vacation town. It's not a gateway city. It's a place where people retire, where people go to summer. And that was stupid. I mean, I would rather they just send them to New York, but to have walked for months to get to the border and then as a vanity project, Governor Abbott or Governor, what is his name, puts them on buses just to make a point politically or to score points politically. I'm sure if they would have asked people in these other cities, will you take them? I'm sure a lot of them would have said, yeah, yeah, what can we do? But instead, they treated them like a prop. And that was awful. But thank you so much, Lauren. Anna Boyd, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. Very grateful. And thank you. That was very kind of you. Let me see. Yeah, Lady Bird, it sounds good on paper, but it's just not very practical. I just have to disagree. Moving the people anywhere, if they went to the UK, that by law, that's where they have a right to seek asylum. Suella Braverman is only doing this for political reasons. And it's such a small amount of people, and it costs so much money. The expense of this relocation program of herding. Have you guys ever heard of the Trail of Tears? Now, this is not the Trail of Tears, but the Native Americans who worked so hard to assimilate into American culture. And when I say worked very hard, they even took slaves, some of them. That's how hard they worked. They went to church, they dressed in Western clothes, they did everything they were supposed to do. And to be fair, there were also Black slave owners at the time, too. So I'm not picking on anyone, but a lot of them, not everybody had slaves. Some of them, I'm sure the majority were morally opposed to it. But there were some natives that have taken slaves. And Andrew Jackson, old Hickory, forced them because it wasn't good enough that you act and walked and talked like a white person and sent your kids to school. It didn't matter. The only minorities we're keeping are Black people. And if you're Native American, you had to march west. That is what the Trail of Tears is in American history. You had to march west. And along the way, a lot of them died and were just buried by the road. This is never a good thing. I don't care how much you fix it up, it's still putting lipstick on a pig. Look it up. It's called the Trail of Tears. Andrew Jackson. That's the statue that you see in front of the White House. I believe he's on the $20 bill. America has a dreadful history with the othering of people. So I don't want anyone to think I'm just picking on the United Kingdom, but this is something that is unprecedented, where you take minorities or you take others, you take migrants, and you put them on a plane and fly them to another country. I don't care if you were taking them to Switzerland. If they don't want to go, why are you making them go? Unless there's something else at play. It's just not right. Okay, let me pull this down and take a look here. Schools should not be lying to children about gender. Campaigners fury at Harry and Meghan charity. Okay. Charity partner, which says boyhood should be fluid and teaches primary school pupils to question gender norms. That is what the Fail says. No, actually, it's not the Fail. I think it's another paper. Global Boyhood Initiative has run workshop with staff in Balham and Mitcham. Archwell has partnered with the initiative, which wants boyhood to be fluid. Now, obviously, that is not the language that is used by the school. I'll explain. Give me a minute. Should we? And then Jeremy Vine hopped on board with, should we stop saying boys will be boys? Now, where did that come from? I'm sure it came from the same place fluid comes from. Harry and Meghan have teamed up with a charity that wants to banish the phrase entirely. Do you agree the phrase enforces stereotypes? Or perhaps do you think boys are differently wired from girls? Let us know your thoughts. Okay, so take a look at the bottom. November 29th, 2022. I don't know why this just became a thing, except people were digging around trying to figure out what can we criticize them for. Oh, really? Is that Switzerland? What is SA? Invite you to come to SA in 3 years. I could even host you free of charge. Now that sounds lovely. I will go just about anywhere just to get away from home. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, South Africa. Yes, I have been wanting to go there. Right? South Africa. Okay, so now I know someone in South Africa. Very cool. Let me see. Yeah, and look at how they did them, right? Look at how they did them, the natives. All right, so right here, it's been there, part of the Archwell since November 29th, 2022. And here it says, inspired by archetypes, the Archwell Foundation has partnered with Equimondo, I hope I'm saying that right, FKA, what is that? Promondo, Global Boyhood Initiative on a guide for promoting gender equality by fostering positive masculinity in boys and men. Equimindo training, tools, and resources are actively promoting healthy and equitable masculinity starting at an early age. Equimindo works to achieve gender equality and social justice by transforming intergenerational patterns of harm and promoting patterns of care, empathy, and accountability among boys and men throughout their lives. To read the guide, click here. So again, this has been there since last November. And now all of a sudden it's news. And there you have it. Labeling someone pigeonholes them and then ripples out to influence norms in communities, workplaces, and society, including equal treatment of genders. To confront this issue, Archwell has partnered with the Global Boyhood Initiative on a guide for promoting gender equality by fostering positive masculinity in boys and men. Well, right now, you guys, everything to do with gender, if the right wing sees gender, they'll find some kind of way to convince people that they're trying to. I'm surprised they didn't say that this had to do with drag queen storytelling. I mean, I'm sure at some point they'll get there. They just haven't worked out how to put that in there. But pretty soon they'll say that that's what it means, even though you don't see that anywhere. Helen Cole says Black Americans in 60s, John Lewis did work for equal rights. Other races of color worked against Black Americans, Asians, or Latinos. Stand against us. Helen Cole, rather. It is true that once some minorities that have come to the U.S., once they have become affluent, as someone was just saying earlier, I believe it was, I forget who said, well, anyway, but just like in Texas, where you have a lot of affluency, a lot of people who have assimilated into the, let's say, white American ways, then all of a sudden they become Republicans. Now, there's nothing wrong with being conservative. There's nothing wrong with being a Republican. It is something wrong with forgetting where you come from. And yes, it is very true that people forget where they come from. So if I'm reading this correct, I believe that's what you're trying to say. And it seems like there's a lot of people who, I'll just say, seem like they just got here. And one of the things that has been taught around the world is racism against Black people, racism against anyone of African descent. And it's amazing how many of these places have actually been a colony of England. A lot of these places have been colonized, and not just by the British, but by the Germans, by the Belgians, by Spain, by Portugal. But that's one of the side effects of colonization is racism. Racism helps to justify oppression. As long as you can prove that they're subhuman, as long as you can prove that they're different, as long as you can make people believe that God is on their side, then that's an excuse to subjugate. That's an excuse to oppress. So thank you for that, Helen, and thanks for reminding us about that. But of course, I'm going to say I don't think that speaks for the majority of people, but it's a huge impact when just a few people who, like I say, seemingly just got here, all of a sudden are worse races than people who have been here for generations. But yep, that is truly a thing, as I like to say, that is a thing. So anyway, I was so pissed. I don't know how else to say it. I was so pissed about all of this. I was pissed to the heights of pistivity. So you know what I did, right? I pulled out my credit card and I made a donation. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I am going to do something once a month, maybe. But just to get the ball rolling, I decided I'm going to make a donation. So, as you can see, Baron of Royal Sussex has made a $10 donation to, I don't even know what this place is, but that's not the point. Leave Harry and Meghan alone. So that's why I made a donation. That's why I made a donation. I didn't care what it was. If it's on the archetypes, I'm not archetypes. If it's on the what is it called? Archwell, then I'm making a donation. So as you can see, I love and support the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, and Princess Meghan. Here's $10. So, and 61 cents. So that's how I felt about that. Um, you know what? I am going to go broke with people messing with the Sussexes because this is the second time. This is the second time I had to do this in a week. This is the second time in a week I've had to make a donation. Leave Harry and Meghan alone. Why do they keep bothering them? I don't even know what this is, but that's not the point. Light Side of the Moon says, also, Baron, the non-educated of oppression. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. And what it looks like allows them to continue doing it without repercussions. Not going to name names, but you probably know who I'm speaking. Thank you, Light Side of the Moon. And Leg says, wait, aren't Harry and Meghan irrelevant? Why do they care what they do? Aren't the royal family in the UK all they care about? All they care about. How about they talk about current events? Yes. Why are they going back? And thank you, Legs. Why are they going so far back to try to find something? Do you see this? I clicked on it. This has been there since November 29th. There's nothing so interesting going on with the royal family. So they had to go all the way back to something that was posted on November 29th. It's been there, hiding in plain sight. I think I'm just going to have to keep my card right next to the computer. That's what I'm going to do. This is just... But they make me sick. Do you hear me? Sick! They make me sick. Oh, yeah, Dan Wu. He was one of the ones that piled in on this. And shame on Jeremy Vine. Didn't he have somebody stalking him? And here he's like one of the biggest trolls this side of creation. Oh, well. So Prince Harry was told he had to give 28 days notice before traveling to the UK. Let me have a drink of water. I'm telling you, today, everything seems to sound like Jim Crow. This is Jim Crow. Jim Crow was show me your papers. That's what Jim Crow was. Jim Crow is when you tell a black president of the United States repeatedly that you were not born here, you're not American. And sadly enough, the black president of the United States actually showed his birth certificate. This is another example of how to degrade someone, how to try to diminish their popularity. Give a 28-day notice, and thank you, Susie Q. You know it's true because the palace has not. This is why I said briefing, more briefing again. Lots and lots of briefing. The briefing has been turned up. Instead of dialing it down, it has been turned up. More briefing. You tell a prince of the realm, a prince of the blood, give us 28 days notice before you show up. Otherwise, you may not be safe. it may not be safe for you to be here unless you give us 28 days notice. That's what that means. So if something happens to you and you didn't give us 28 days, and of course, Harry's retort is, please show me where someone in my situation has had to show his papers. I'm just going to call it show your papers. Has had to show their papers, or in other words, 28 days notice. Very disrespectful. Light-skinned Harry. I mean, they truly are treating him as though he's an other. And if they would do that to him, a prince, just imagine what they have for people. I mean, sure, you pile people on the plane and then you cut off the funding. And since they are thousands of miles away, not our problem anymore. That's what you do. You say farewell to the prince and his princess, and they go to Canada. And what do? You take away your support, you take away your security or their security. And what do you say? Not my problem. That's all you got to do is to get them out the house. And that closes down the argument. Lex says they're trying to find a way to control Harry and Meghan. Abusive. That is an abuser. That is how an abuser acts. As a matter of fact, I cannot wait to watch. I hope Ivy covers this next week in any type of way. But this is why I watch Ivy of Sussex Global UK, because she has more than detailed the actions of an abuser, more than detailed the actions of a what do you call it? A narcissist. This is abusive, narcissistic behavior where you insist that someone give 28-day notice. So I would say with this, maybe this is just some kind of tactic for negotiation for the coronation. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is some tactic that they're pulling for the coronation. But the worst part about this is being played out in front of the world and they don't care. Oh, by the way, Legs, thank you so much for the super chat. They're playing this out in front of the world and they don't care. They really don't care. This is the abusive partner out in public attacking their wife or girlfriend or whatever and doesn't care who's watching, doesn't care what people say. They don't care. That is the level of abuse this is. Albeit coming from, the Ravek or whoever it comes from, but that is abuse. Yep, that's exactly it. Thank you so much, Legs. That is the perfect word, abuse. It is abuse. Yeah, isn't that something, Compton Cali gal? Dan Wooten allegedly drives this woman to her grave. And then when her boyfriend decides that he wants to say something about it, he ends up getting locked up. So it's something about having a fine education and being a part of that club that protects you. Yeah, that was disgusting. Okay, so I don't think I can do anything else with that, but I'm done with that because it's too much. But take a look here. I added this photo for this reason right here, just so you can look at Charles with his son that he, along with the rest of the people, are trying to destroy. That is his son. That is his child, and he's trying to destroy him. Let that sink in. Prince Harry was told he had to. Oh, I'm sorry, I had this other thing. Prince Harry was told he had to give 28 days' notice before traveling to the UK. Ravek has really had it out for Harry. By the way, this is Celibici, Kaiser of Celibici, has really had it out for Harry from the word go. Ravek is a group which decides all of the royal protection issues, who gets what kind of protection, and whether protection should follow rank and threat rather. And Ravek is made up of palace advisors and high-ranking police officers. And Harry has been slowly peeling back the layers of Ravek operations over the past year. I am astonished by the widespread belief in the UK that security is attached to rank solely, not threat, meaning that they believe that because Harry is not a working royal and not the heir, they can play fast and loose with his life and his security. That's not the way any of this should work. As for the 28-day notice thing, yeah, this is always, this has always been about control. The Windsors want to control Harry and Meghan at all times, especially when they're in the UK. Yeah, and I wonder if they thought that it would be okay if they wouldn't ban them from ever entering the UK, which is what they did to the Duke of Windsor. The Duke of Windsor had to ask permission to return. And I think that that's really what they're trying to do with the Sussexes, is to make sure that they have permission before they show up. That was part of the agreement when the Duke of Windsor left the throne, was that he would have to ask um, Shirley Temple. He would have to ask he would have to ask Shirley Temple and Cookie before he could return. I'm sorry, but yeah, that was the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Their nickname for the Queen was Shirley Temple for obvious reasons. And of course, I already told you why they referred to the Queen Mother as Cookie. So yeah, they would have to ask Shirley Temple before they could return. God, that's never not funny to me, Shirley Temple. Oh God, I think I could have hung out with him actually, the Duke of Windsor. King Charles needs to put his fat foot down if he really wants Prince Harry there. King had better tell them that the Sussex protection will be in full force. Kim Peaches, I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares. I don't think he really cares. Charles does not protect the people closest to him. Never has. I wonder how Harry feels about his family putting him and his family in danger. Do you think he is questioning his mother's death? Most definitely. From Spare and from the docu series, most definitely. I do believe that's exactly. Um, I'm sure that that's a component. There's a lot of things that Harry hasn't said per his lawyers, because there's so much that Harry's going to spend the rest of this decade sorting out a lot of this stuff, uh, or maybe even further than that. But I'm sure it will be 2030 before a lot of this stuff is cleared up. Charles may not live to see the end of it. He may not live to see the end of it. It'll go to William, and then that will be just that much worse, I believe. Cookies and Cream says, since the unroyals don't care about how their abuse is playing out in front of the world, Harry needs to not hold anything back. I'm glad he's fighting for the right to pay for his family's security in court. Yeah, that it was a very shrewd move on his part. What disgusting family. What a disgusting family. I don't think that he wants them there. He wants to pretend that he did everything the media asked. However, he cares about himself. He didn't care about Diana or her offspring. Yeah, he really doesn't. He really doesn't. And it's a missed opportunity. Charles has the mother of all platforms, and he is degrading himself, degrading the institution with these attacks against his own child. Let's see, Andrew needs to have his security removed and he needs to pay rent and get a job. He is not a working royal. Helene Cole, thank you so much for that. And that's true. He's not a working royal. He is not a working royal. He is just an occupant. He is taking up space. And of course, he is living that town and country lifestyle, mostly country. He's living that country lifestyle. I mean, it's like Downton Abbey 2023. That is the life that he leads. I think I just had something about that yesterday, did I? Yeah, here it is. This is, thank you again for your super chat. This is what they do all day. That is Love Chunks right there on the horse on the right. At that photo, you can see. Well, the one with the Pepe Le Pew stripe going across his helmet. That's what he looks like. He looks like a big Pepe Le Pew. Oh my God, that white stripe, he does. And if you guys remember Pepe Le Pew, that's a good fit for him. Pepe Le Pew. He had a bad smell, very sweaty, and used to try to kiss everything and everybody. So there you go, Pepe Le Pew on horseback. I know that's right, Connie Balmer. Connie says, I still don't trust the security, even if Harry paid it by himself. I know that's right. You are so right about that. Yeah, let's see that pop of color. Yeah. Wait, and look at how Edwina's helmet is on his head. Look at how it's pulled down just above the eyes so that it looks more flirtatious. Although who he's flirting with, I'm not clear, but yeah. Oh man. He would rub shoulders with a much broader cross section of his future subjects. Labour MP says Prince William should break with tradition and send Prince George to a state school instead of the £46,000 a year Eton. Did I talk about that yesterday? Yeah, I'm not supposed to be on that. I'm over here. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, you guys. So take a look here. That is the actors that are playing Prince William and Duchess of Doolittle, Wadey Katie. And as you can see, okay, I don't think that coat that she's wearing is going into the scene. That's something that she put over the other clothes because it's still kind of cold out. But I love the way that they put William in that James Dean Rebel Without a Cause jacket. Oh yeah, boy, does he look hot, right? Yeah, so they got William looking like James Dean and Wadey Katie. Well, anyway, all I can say is if she wants to be a convincing Catherine, then they have to get her real drunk and have her crawl out of the back of a black cab. Or, well, anyway, she has to have that kind of dead eye, spacey look, which I think she's achieved that already. So I think if this actress, if she can capture the crawling out of a black cab in central London, or that dazed, confused look like the bottom photo, I think that would be perfect. I think she was, I tell you what, sometimes they get the casting just right. You know what I mean? This is an epic casting. Nobody could have possibly have done better casting a movie than whoever did this. So whoever has been responsible for this, my hats off to you. This is epic. Yeah, I like it. I approve. Uh oh yeah, so we talked about inside the 87 unpatriotic council spending nothing on King Charles' coronation includes Charles' own tight-fisted town hall. So even the Duchy of Lancaster cannot be bothered, is it Lancaster? Cannot be bothered trying to finance any kind of celebration for this coronation. We spoke about that yesterday, right? Well, take a look here. They tried to embarrass the Sussexes with that story. Oh, this is out of place. This slide should have been up further. But they tried to embarrass the Sussexes with that story about the boys and men and gender. Well, take a look here. History teacher 46 who met William and Kate during an official visit is banned from classroom after sending aggressively sexual text messages to male grammar school pupil. And when I saw the story, I read the story. Take a look here. I'm like, she's the one who must have taught William how to do all those stretches, don't you think? Yeah, I think she's the one who taught William how to stretch like a pretzel, how to prepare yourself for whatever you're preparing yourself for. Anyway, I'm being messy, but that's why I brought those pictures out, is because I just thought somebody had to teach him how to do it. I'm going to accuse her of it. Okay. All right, you guys. From the Ministry of Propaganda. From the Ministry of Propaganda. So, what was supposed to happen, I was supposed to go from here to here. Ministry of Propaganda. How and why you should volunteer for the king's coronation. They are saying that people are not coming forward. No one's coming forth, if you will, to volunteer for His Majesty's coronation. What is wrong with you people? Huh? How come nobody is taking their bank holiday to help the king? That is so disheartening. Now, coronations only come around once in a lifetime. Actually, some people have lived and died and never even seen a coronation. I can't believe that nobody is coming forth to help Charles. So, if you guys are in the UK or if you think you will be there, please come forward, because they need your help. Okay? They need your help. Charles, your king needs you. Your king needs you. So, anybody put their hands up yet? Or
time for that.
Okay, I guess that's the answer then. When quizzed about whether or not they will come forward to help Charles with his coronation, I guess that's the answer, right?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So, sorry, Charles, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for it. Or you know what? I know who they can ask. I know who they can ask. Why don't they just? Oh, you
I
know,
just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get what.
why don't they ask Stacey Solomon? Maybe she'll volunteer. I mean, if they ask her, what's the worst thing she could say? What's the worst thing she could say?
I just don't get it.
Have the Royal Rota come and volunteer if this is an well, let me tell you something. I think physically the Royal Rota may not be ideally suited for volunteering. I mean, does that look like someone who could ring a church bell or set up some folding chairs and tables? It's hard to do that when you're constantly crawling around looking for crumbs and sniffing up the back alleys and stuff. Very difficult. So, yeah, physically, I don't know if the Royal Rota is fit enough to do that. So, but I thank you, Legs. But yeah, I think the Royal Rota should do. If it is an honor, then they should be the first ones to come forth.
Got time for that?
They should be the first ones to come forth. The Royal Rodents. All right. So, but yeah, it's kind of funny. And you know, the fact that this is a story again lets you know that there are very few people coming forth. How and why you should volunteer for the King's coronation. More than 1,500 charities are involved in the Big Help Out initiative to reflect the King's life of service. So they have 1,500. Is that a hard no or a soft no or just hell no? They got 1,500 charities that they're asking to help them. You got that? 1,500 charities that they're begging, please help us find volunteers. They need thousands of people. So take a look at that pitiful face. Could you possibly say no to your king, especially at a time like this? This is his coronation. This man has waited a lifetime for this moment, and you guys need to help him. Okay? Help him. Listen, you guys, however you feel about Charles, just set your feelings aside for a short period of time. This is not just for him, but what about all of the people of African descent? Don't we want to be represented? Okay, I'll take that as a no. I'll take that as a no. Yeah, it looks like they've already asked a group of African Americans, I'm sorry, of African descent British people if they would help out. And I guess it didn't go over like they thought it would. So never mind. Hey, Stephen Black is here. I'd rather wax my eyebrows off than help those dreadful people. Well, thank you so much, Stephen Black, and thank you for the many times that you have helped us with your illustrations. You guys, the man responsible for Cambridge Girl, Stephen Black is here. Cambridge Girl, give your hair the royal treatment. Cambridge Girl, the no-lie royal relaxer. Cambridge Girl, Cambridge Girl. wow. Okay, now there are some other people. If you can't volunteer for His Majesty the King, there are other people that are seeking volunteers. Like, for instance, there is a group which includes Yellow T-shirt guy. Yellow T-shirt guy is going to be out there on May the 6th with Republic. So if you guys have time, or if you have some massage oil in case he, pulls a tricep or something, make sure you go and so volunteer for the king, volunteer for not my king, but whatever you do, just volunteer. Do something with your time that day. Wax your eyebrows, change the air in your spare tire, wash your hair. There's plenty of stuff that one can do, on that occasion. So, Katie V, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And Stephen Black, yes, thank you for the super chat. All right, I think I did that already. Okay, and of course, if you're up in Glasgow, there's another group that's looking for volunteers. They're going to be there at 11:30 sharp on May the 6th. All these people celebrating Archie's birthday. I just can't believe it. So King Charles III is not going so well. Let me show you this. It looks like Charles must have asked a couple of pensioners, oh my God, do you think you might be able to help out on my coronation day? Well, you can see they didn't take it so well either. So, as a matter of fact, if I wasn't looking, I would have thought it was him. Oh man, not going so well. Not going so well. And right here, ring the bell. Right there it says, "Ring for the king." Quest to find enough volunteers to ring enough volunteer bell ringers for Charles' coronation. Unlikely to hit the target. Now that request that happened months ago, and here it is. The 18th of March, you can see right there, and they're still looking for bell ringers. They were looking for bell ringers a couple of months ago. You mean to tell me you haven't even found the bell ringers? You have no music acts. You have no bell ringers. You can't even find Quasimodo. You can't even find Quasimodo. Well, you know what I mean. Quasimodo. No, not her. Why do I keep confusing everybody with Quasimodo? Nope, that's not Quasimodo. Anyway, find Quasimodo. That's what he does. They ring the bell. I wonder if a horse has ever rang the bell. Can horses ring bells? That I'd be interested to find out if you can get a horse to ring the bell. That would be interesting. Oh man. Yes, I haven't thought about that in a while. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get Penny Natch Bull back out again. Yeah, I almost forgot about Penny Natch Bull, but I wonder if she'll be at the coronation. Probably. So yeah, it's not going well. Will you help? That's the question that we're asking. I found these photos earlier. Look at that. Look at Charles at his what did they call that? When he was invested, his investiture. His investiture for the Prince of Wales. That is what that is. They made a crown for him and everything for his investiture of the Prince of Wales. Now that crown that crown actually, you see the little globe, the little ball up there at the top? That is actually a ping pong ball inside of it. The guys that made the crown, they were trying to find something that was just the right shape. And once they coated it, they just left the ping pong ball. But they specially made that crown. As you can see, it is very modern, but they especially made that for his investiture. Why does tampon look like? Is that Igor to me? Igor? Let me see. This one or this one? Wait, no, it must be this one or that one. Ugh, look at that one on the left side there where he has the ermine. But anyway, thank you so much, Legs. This is what happened. Well, I shouldn't say it, but you know that his parents were distant relations. I'm just saying his parents were distant relations. Distant relations. Oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. But they were related. Don't tell anybody I said that, but they were related. Oh, it reminds me of that movie, Carrie. They're all going to laugh at you. Remember that from Carrie? They're all going to laugh at you. Well, Stephen, I think for Camilla, if I recall, they said that they were going to fly in someone from Italy, someone who has, studied, what do you call it? That painting technique. Where the plaster is wet, and then they put it on the wall and the plaster is wet and they, gosh, what do they call that? That type of painting? Not stucco. Oh my goodness. I can't think of what it's called. But yeah, anyway, there's going to be an Italian artist that's going to come in and do it. So they found an artisan who is more than capable of using the ancient techniques. Venetian plaster. No, it's not Venetian plaster. Like the Last Supper. They call it, gosh, I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, that's the technique they're going to use with the wet plaster and the pigments. But that is that and the typical glam squad. And that's what they're going to. I wonder if they'll let her wear her boots. Audrey Teschner, thank you for the super sticker and happy Monday to you. Let me see. Oh, the donkey from Winnie the Pooh. Okay. Oh, wait, let me take a look. I'm going to take a look right now. Okay. Winnie the Pooh. Yes, it does look like him. Wait. Let me find the right photo. Yeah, with his mouth kind of hanging, his head in his mouth. Yes, he does do that, doesn't he? Where he has that head. Where is he? He has that head hanging low like that. You were so right. He's been doing that a lot lately. Where is it at? Wait, like that, where he's always even the eyes kind of slanted down and everything. How do you say it? Ior? Oh my God. Now I'm going to have to do a side-by-side probably tomorrow. I am going to do a side-by-side. That's right, a fresco. Thank you. A fresco. They're going to bring in a fresco painter to do her makeup. Oh man. Let's see. Brownie, thank you so much for the super sticker. And YM Joy says, relax, everyone. I'm volunteering half a box of tampons, a tiny violin, a bucket of spackle, and a packet of apple oatmeal for Seabiscuit. Woo! I love it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, and thank you again, Legs. Sorry about that. I never knew what the name of the donkey was. Let me see. Oh, and let me get rid of him, too. All right, you guys. He's not going to have an easy time of it, though. Festival of Volunteering announced to mark King Charles III coronation. Well, January 26th, they have been begging for volunteers for months. They have been begging for volunteers for months. This is not going well. Georgia Walker, thank you for the super sticker. And happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, they have been begging for months. No music acts, no volunteers. Oh, by the way, you guys, did you hear that Rupert Murdoch, 92 years old, Rupert Murdoch, engaged to Anne Leslie Smith following his fourth divorce? Now, when I said that Suella Braverman looked like some kind of monster that emerged from the sea, I spoke too soon, because there's something even scarier, someone who's even more reptilian that has emerged. I wonder if that is a hybrid of a human being and a saltwater crocodile, right? Because it's definitely a predator. He looks like some type of monstrous predator. But Rupert Murdoch has been engaged again. But you know what, guys? One of the paparazzi actually snapped a picture that I think is kind of foreboding. Check it out. Do you know where I can find the Murdoch Smith wedding? So if he's going to get married, he better do it soon, because there is a mysterious figure carrying a sickle that is looking for the Murdoch Smith wedding. So if you guys, if a dark hooded figure approaches you with that question, make sure you forward them to the Murdoch address. Well, I tell you, I don't like anybody named Murdoch anymore. This is Alex Murdoch, and I'm up in it bad. I'm up in it real bad. This is Alex Murdoch. This is Alex Murdoch, and I'm up in it bad. Pardon me. Do you know where I can find the Murdoch Smith wedding? You know what's funny, though? The first time I saw that picture, you know what the caption said? Do you guys remember when Trump was in the hospital? The Grim Reaper asked the man, "Can you point me toward the Walter Reed Medical Center?" So I think it works for Trump. It works for Rupert Murdoch. But either way, what am I saying? This guy is invincible. And of course, you guys, this is something that you can look forward to. Oh, you like that? Hello, this is Alec Murdoch, and I'm up in it real bad. I'm up in it real bad. Hello, can you help me? This is Alec Murdoch, and I'm up in it bad. I'm up in it real bad. I'm still trying to figure out what up in it means. I'm up in it real bad. I needed to be the emergency services. Hello, 911. How can I direct your emergency? Hello, this is Alec Murdoch, and I'm up in it real bad. You're what? I'm up in it real bad. You're up in what? I'm up in it real bad. Yeah, but what do you mean I'm up in it real bad? What does that mean? How does one get up in it real bad? Listen, I'm telling you, I need some help. I'm Alec Murdoch, and I'm up in it real bad. Well, Mr. Murdoch, when you figure out what up in it is, please call us back. Well, you guys, anyway, you can look forward to this possibly as early as tomorrow. Now, of course, this is Cold War Steve again. Cold War Steve has come up with some of the epic illustrations. Like you can see Trump speaking to his son, Nose Candy Trump. Orange Trump is talking to Nose Candy Trump. And in the background is mail order Trump. So you got Trump, Trump, and mail order Trump. And then over there, anyway, they're up in it real bad. They're up in it real bad. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I believe we are done for today. Thank you all for your very generous super chats and super stickers. And thank you for the, was that a PayPal? Cash App. PayPal. Cash App. But anyway, thank you very much for that. And also, thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And if it wasn't for your help, I don't know what I would do, because I'm up in it real bad. I'm up in it real bad. And thank you to our Queen Doria, who is the one that gave us our Princess Meghan. And also thank you to our Queen of Hearts, who we will not allow to be forgotten on Archie's birthday. Archie's birthday is a day to celebrate Archie, as well as to remind the world that once upon a time there was a beautiful princess, Lady Diana Spencer, married into that family of reptilian parasites known as the Windsors. But we won't let her memory fade. So, but anyway, you guys, thank you very much. And I am going to look for our last comment of the day. And no, it's not up in it real bad. Let me see. Oh, I like that. Angela Simmons says, be safe tomorrow. Please pray for this country. Amen. We are going to pray for the working class and the poor all over, and the occasional rich person that gets it. We're going to pray for all of them. And Lucy Wynn, her situation she spoke about earlier, which is why she hasn't been here. And you guys, Sherry Ware, let's pray for Sherry Ware. We're not sure exactly what happened with Sherry Ware, but we think about her every day, especially at this time. And let me see here. Well, yeah, we think about it every day at this time. So, all right. Good night, Elaine Parker. And let me see. Audrey Teschner, you're in another time zone. Should I say good morning to you? And good night to Connie Baumer. Yes, good night, Connie Baumer. So hopefully I can make it on earlier tomorrow, but you guys know I had my aunt today, and then there was just so much to talk about. So, and good night, Lauren Brown. Make sure you guys go and check out Lauren Brown's video that I mentioned. And also Claire Kane's name is at the top of the chat right now. You can go click on her Sussex Friendly Space. You can never find enough of those. Another Sussex Friendly space. So yeah. Okay, you guys, and hopefully I can get that link for that thing that I donated earlier. And yeah, so that's it. We have our last word. It is time to cue the Ginger Avenger.
Just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about...
I'm up in it real bad. Well, you guys, let me see here. Oh, Black Queen, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you guys being here, especially moderators for keeping this a safe space. Hey, Rohini, I didn't know you were here. Oh, wow. You're working. Well, no, you're probably done with work for today, right? But anyway, glad you're here. I know, right? The Ginger Venge. And since I have the new computer, I was saying, once I get my computer, I'm gonna do, and I ain't done nothing yet, but I got to do another something. So not sure which one I'm gonna do, but I promise there's going to be a new one very soon. I got a fast, efficient computer and no more excuses. So that is forthcoming. All right. So I will see you guys. Love you. And bye for now. Bye from Ivy. No, I'm not Ivy. I was about to say bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Ivy says that. What do I usually say? Oh, well. I want to see you guys. I'm going. Okay. Bye. Love you.